Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And today's episode is sponsored by my books, How to X Your Ex, a guide towards getting past unhealthy relationships, as well as Single Woman Chronicles and Atlanta Love Story Kinda. Check them out on Amazon, books on Google Play, and Barnes & Noble's website. So today, we'll be talking about submission. Now, usually I don't touch on celebrity things because I try to mind my own business. I try to mind the business that pays me, and I don't know these people. But I just thought this was a good topic to touch on because submission itself is just such a tricky topic, and I believe we need to talk about it. So, the girls are up in arms over the video with WatchJazzy. Now, if you haven't seen the video, I don't know what rock you're living under, but it's going around everywhere. But what was asked of her was, what does a submissive woman do for her man? That was the specific question. That's why I'm entitling this episode, What Does a Submissive Woman Do? And her answer was everything. So she said for her view of submission for a woman doing something for her man is like she does everything. And she went on to say a few things. She said that her biggest flex is how she treats her man. She said that she's been known to love people back to health, basically. And that sometimes it can be draining. And she's like, her man is spoiled rotten and he knows it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much a lot of the things that she said. But she did say that she finds joy in basically acts of service, right? Now, I'm not about to sit here and argue back and forth about what submission is versus servitude, because a lot of people were like, that's not submission, that's servitude, and whatever. I'm not really having that conversation because honestly, I don't see an issue with submission in its proper context. Because I am a Christian, I can't pick and choose which parts of the Bible that I agree with, and I don't. And as we know, the Bible does say, wives, submit to your own husband. Now, before we get into that, we must understand that anything God says to the woman, he's going to address the man as well. It's going to always come with stipulations. He told women, submit to your own husbands. But he also told men, love your wives as you love yourself. So if I'm in the confines of marriage and my husband loves me like he loves himself, I don't mind submitting to, which submission in biblical terms means to come under the mission of. So I'm basically coming under your leadership. You're not bossing me around, but basically I look at it like this. My husband is the CEO of this family. So as the CEO, I'm his CFO or whatever he needs me to be to assist him, right? The CEO doesn't just make the other people underneath them do whatever just all willy-nilly. No, they have a plan. They put this plan in action, and then the other people have to agree to it. You know what I mean? Like, you still have choice when it comes to that. I think submission gets such a negative rap because so many people are using it wrong. Like, they see it wrong, right? So I don't see anything wrong with submission. I'm not even about to have the argument that, oh, she's not married to Cam, so she shouldn't be doing all of this. Not talking about that either, because that's irrelevant. What I want to talk about is more so some of the other things that cause me concern, because the submission part didn't really cause me concern in her speech. It was more so other things surrounding it. And what I believe happened is a lot of people were triggered by their own trauma by what Jazzy said, because I don't know sis personally. I don't know her life. I don't know her background. I don't know what she's been through. But I know my background, and I know I come from abandonment issues. So hearing someone say that they do everything for their man and they're doing such and such and such, it triggers somebody like me who has trauma in that area, because I've been the chick who did the most in order to prove her love. I felt like I had to go above and beyond in order to earn a man or keep a man, right? So I feel like a lot of people that are coming with a backlash, a lot of it is because we're triggered. Like, a lot of us are kind of projecting because, listen, we don't know the behind the scenes. We don't know, like, because my thing is, some people are just naturally givers. Like, they literally are service minded, and it doesn't, like, they don't think about it. They just do it. Like, they're not doing it to earn anything. They're literally just doing it because they want to do it. So my thing is, if you're treating someone well because you want to treat someone well, then do it. Like, you're not trying to earn nothing or gain anyone's love, like, then do it. As long as your heart posture isn't an approve it mindset, then you good, right? But I think the issue comes when we're in a society that we're so broken. We're so used to, when someone treats someone really well, oh nah, they gonna get played, they doing too much. That's our problem. We don't know how to be vulnerable. We don't know how to, like, just freely love and give without thinking that we're gonna get the shorter end of the stick. I don't know what's on my nose, y'all. It's like something, like a piece of hair be on you and you be trying to figure out. For those of y'all listening, I keep touching my nose because it feel like a piece of hair is on it. And you can't get that little piece of hair you can't find. But anyway, but I applaud her vulnerability and her transparency, because I think it takes a lot of strength to even admit to that, as well as do that, because you're literally putting yourself all the way out there, like, to the point of no return. Now, do I agree with what her view of submission is? Absolutely not. I don't think that submission, what a submissive woman does is everything. I don't believe that, because that's just my own belief. But that's her belief. And another thing we have to understand is different cultures do different things. I don't know, like, her specific culture, but I remember having a male friend who was telling me that women of a certain culture, like, they treat their men awesome. Like, they rub their feet. They won't let them touch a dish. They clean everything. So different cultures do this on the regular, and it's literally nothing wrong with it, because that's how they were raised. But because America is an individualistic society, like, for some reason, anytime we hear woman treating man very well, he's spoiled rotten, of course we're up in arms. Right? We're like, what are you talking? We not doing that. And I get it. We're on the defense because for so long, the narrative is still pushed today. But let me take it back. So, because a lot of us don't understand love outside of action, a lot of people believe loving someone is conditional, of course, right? And the way I view unconditional love is not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to love you up into a certain action you do. I view unconditional love as loving someone for who they are, not what they're doing for me. What do I mean by that? If the world was free, like, everything to like live was free, you didn't have to pay rent, gas was free, everything was free, you could do what you wanted every single day, it was painless, the world was just the world, right? And it just is what it is. Everybody had a servant, everybody had a nanny, whatever. Would this person still love me just for being who I am? Would they still love me? If it had nothing to do with nothing, that's how I view unconditional love, right? So I feel like we're in this society where I see so many, unfortunately, like, men be feeling like, oh, a woman gotta submit and do this and do that and blah 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 in order to earn my love. And a lot of people think like that, but a lot of women feel like a man need to take care of her, bring home everything, pay for everything in order to earn her love. So we're so conditioned to feel like love is just action, that a lot of the times we feel like we got to prove ourselves in order to be in a relationship. And I don't think that's true. I feel like genuine real love is when you can love someone just for being who they are. And I'm not trying to get spiritual or biblical, but I'm a Christian, so I always think about God's love. Like, God loves us just because we exist. Has nothing to do with what we do for him. So I model love after that. I model love after Christ and God. So it's not about what you do. Like, if somebody never did anything else for me, would I still love them? Right? So I think when we're thinking about submission and we're thinking about what it looks like to us, I just don't want anyone to be in the position where they're constantly giving, and they're becoming drained. And the reason they're doing it is because deep down inside they have a wound, and they're feeling like, if I love this person enough, if I do all these things, because love equals action to a lot of people, if I do all of these things and prove to them that I love them this much, then they'll stay. Then they'll never leave me. Never do stuff because you're trying to get something in return. Even if it's affection, attention, whatever, like, do it out of kindness of your heart. Because what happens is you develop resentment. You start to develop a resentment for that person because you're like, dang, I'm doing all this, you're not doing it for me. Like, no, if that ain't what you feel like doing, then don't do it. Like, that's just what it is. And I think that's okay. I don't think we should like love someone from approving, but I also don't think we should withhold love because of other people's views. I don't think that we should say, oh, I'm not doing that because then that dude gonna think I'm soft, or he gonna think he got me, or I ain't doing all that because what if I get hurt, or what if he leaves? That's another thing. That's a defense mechanism. It's all defense mechanisms. We shouldn't do that. Like, if you want to fully submit to someone outside of marriage, in a relationship, or you just want to fully love someone to the point where you are doing everything for them and you are packing their bags, unpacking their bags, like sis said, do what you're doing. My only thing is, I would want to know what the intent is. Meaning, like, is the intent just genuinely, this is what I want to do? Or is the intent, I'm trying to prove something, or I'm trying to get something? So that would be the only thing, because I didn't listen to the full interview. I only know the snippets. I'm not mad at what she said. If that's how she wants to love and that's how she chooses to move, then that's fine. Because you're not going to agree with how everybody move and do things, right? Because it's a lot of stars that behind the scenes, they be doing stuff we don't know. They could be catering to their man. Like, Destiny Child had a whole song, let me cater to you. Like, cool, I cater to my boo if he doing what he need to be doing. But I think I would ask more questions just surrounding, have you been like this before? Like, is this something that you do? What makes you feel like you need to do that? And if she would be like, nothing makes me feel like I need to do it, I just want to do it because that's just what it is. So it's just, I think it was just a little bit scary hearing her say her biggest flex is how she treats her man. Because I'm like, girl, you are very talented and you've accomplished a lot. Like, that's your biggest flex? Wow. But everything people says comes from their reality and the things that they've gone through, their own experiences. So I don't know why that's her biggest flex. Like, but my whole point is, like, I don't think it's anything wrong with how she views submission, because that's just how she views it. She didn't tell everybody else to view it like that. She just said that's how I view it. You know what I mean? But someone did say, again, I didn't watch the full interview, that she didn't know how to vocalize her own needs. And that's a bit red flaggish, because what I'm about to tell you is what one thing I do know how to do is vocalize my own needs. Like, what do I need in a relationship to be happy? Because for me, I spent so many years, because I suffer from abandonment issues, because I clung so hard to wanting the guy to stay and not to leave. A lot of the times I lost track of what I actually needed. Like, it would be times where I won the guy and he was in my midst and I was, in a relationship with him. But then I realized, like, I fought this hard to get you, but you wasn't even nothing to get. Like, you suck, my dude. like, because a lot of the times you can get so caught up in just wanting that person that you lose sight of what that person is doing to even gain you. Like, I can remember a situation I had where dude came in hot, very heavy on the love bombing. And so eventually my guard came down and I was just like, okay, I can do this. I'll pay attention to him. So I started paying attention to him, started to date him. And then what I noticed is when he got me, he started to be like relaxed and just not doing a lot of the things that he did before. So I felt like I was more so like fighting to keep it together. But then one day I took a step back and was like, are you even happy? Are your needs being met? And they were not. So that ended. You know what I mean? So I know for me, you ain't got to tell me to submit or do my best to do whatever I need to do to keep you if my needs are being met. Like, what? I'm jumping through hoops of fire. What do you mean? I'm doing toe touches in the night. What are you saying? I want to be here. Like, I love it here. Let me do what I need to do. But again, I feel like a lot of people were just triggered by their own traumas and their own experiences because they did the most and it turned out a certain way. So they feel like that's what's going to happen to Jazzy. And like, I hope that doesn't happen for Jazzy. And Misery loves company so much that people are going to want that to happen to her because we've seen her alleged man's history. Cam Newton, like, he just wasn't the best dude to other women. So I think that's why a lot of people are kind of assuming. But I try not to project negativity onto anybody's situation. I don't want anybody to go through pain, like, at all. But my whole thing is I hope sis is okay. Her answers were not answers that I would have given. But at the same time, if she like it, we love it. I just hope that her intent on what she called loving someone back to health. Let me touch on that. I'm not a therapist. So I just don't believe in the whole loving someone back to health. Because my thing is like once they get to where you've loved them back to, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to stay. Because I've literally heard stories of women giving like kidneys to men and once they were good, they left. So I think it's dangerous when your validation comes from how much you can heal someone in a relationship. I think that's dangerous because I think your validation should come from within. I think you should just show up knowing that you are great and no matter what you did, how you operate in a relationship, if, whatever, that you're still worthy. You don't need the validation. You know what I mean? I think that's very dangerous. So it was just a few red flags, but I don't think she should have been bashed as heavily. I think she was bashed that heavily because a lot of people were just triggered. But I do think that we need to stop. Misery just loves company. And I feel like anytime we see somebody in their happiness, we're kind of trying to find a reason why they shouldn't be. And if she's happy doing that, then okay. Now I hope she's genuinely happy though. I'm saying all this because like I don't want to judge her because we've all been there. We've all had moments where we did a lot for someone and we hoped and prayed that they appreciated it, would reciprocate it, and would value us, right? So what I'm not going to do is bash a woman for showing up with good intentions and wanting to treat a man well, because why can't men be spoiled? Like, why can't men be spoiled right? And like, who are we to say that Cam don't deserve it? Like, I mean, I can't, he's not the type of guy that I would choose just for past, but we don't know these people in real life. But the only uncertainty, I mean, not the only uncertainty, the only unfortunate part about this is that Jazz just so happened to be out in the public saying this to the world. And I think it was a little confusing too, just because a lot of her content is very like, I'm confident, I'm in your face, I'm doing such and such. And I feel like a lot of the times people's stage act isn't who they are in their personal life. Because think about Cardi B. She said, I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how this got this ring. But that's just her persona. Cardi at home was cooking and cleaning. Because Offset Petty behind posted a picture of it. So I think we have to separate a performer and their art from who they actually are. Because again, I always say we don't know these people. I give so much grace to celebrities because I get it, like the pressures, bro. Like, I'm nowhere near a celebrity. I just got a little social media. And people be talking cash crazy about me. And it makes you feel some type of way. So I get it, because a lot of people don't know you. They just assuming who you are just off of what you reveal to the world. Because people on social media, most of the time, we're not revealing everything about ourselves. We're just not. I think it would be foolish to. So yeah, I give so much grace to sis. I ain't gonna lie, when I initially saw it, I was like, I hate to see a real one go out like that. How dare she? But then when I sat with myself, took a step back, and I'm like, why are you bothered by what she's saying? And then I realized I'm bothered by what she's saying because I've been the girl who did the most, and the guy dissed me, didn't appreciate me, didn't do right, and that made me feel some type of way. But I can't project my negative experience onto her just because that's what happened to me in my history. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? Who freaking knows? But yeah, but again, I feel like I've been doing a lot of rambling. But anyway, I just say that for me, submission isn't an issue. I don't think submission is a bad thing. I think submission gets a bad rap because people are using it wrong. Submission doesn't mean being controlled. It doesn't mean that someone is out here basically as your owner and you are their servant and you must do everything that they want you to do or there will be consequences. No. If you are submitting under, again, going back to the CEO example, if you are submitting under your CEO, they have a plan and you guys are, trying to reach a common goal. In order to reach the common goal, you have to have some type of leader, right? So if you have a good leader who cares about you and who loves you as said employer, you're going to trust their leadership. You're going to do things that they tell you to do. Now, when you have concerns that something might be off, you're going to say something. An employer ain't just going to be quiet. They're going to be like, hey, I don't know if that's the right move. You sure you want to do that? And they're going to be like, okay, let me see. Let me take if they respect you, if they love you like they love themselves, right? So that's more so what it is about. It's not necessarily that submission is bad. I think we just get the wrong picture of submission, and a lot of people be submitting to the wrong people. So it just turns out horribly, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with submission. But just to summarize, I do not believe that you should love anyone back to health. I also don't believe that if loving someone should be with the intent of trying to, let me say that again. Loving someone through action and through serving them, doing the most for them, doing everything for them your intent behind that needs to be a genuine, I just want to. It doesn't need to be because I want to show them how much I love them so they know that I'm better than any other chick they ever dealt with, and that they never gonna leave me and I'm that chick. Like, make sure it's genuine. Make sure it's not from a place where you're trying to receive love or you're trying to receive validation or approval. Make sure it's genuine, because you don't want to resent that person and you don't want to feel played when it's all said and done. Because anytime I give anything to anybody, I'm doing it out the kindness of my heart. So you can't play me. You can't play me because I'm doing it out the kindness of my heart. I don't care what you do with it. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. And when I get to a point where I feel like I'm not doing it and I'm doing it to prove something, to keep you in my life, I'm not going to do it, because now something's off. I'm not doing it from a genuine heart posture. I'm doing it for validation of some reason, and I need to check that first. So make sure when you are going into any relationship, be it friendship, partnership, marriage, girlfriend, boyfriend, like, your heart posture is correct. But also, do not withhold love out of fear of being hurt. If you can't trust the person you with, you don't need to be with them. Stop trying to make them jump through hoops and prove something to you because you done got hurt before. No, you need to go deal with that. You need to go therapy. You need to go heal, forgive, whatever. But no, that ain't right. But all right, y'all. Like, comment, share. Let me know what y'all think. Cause yeah. Bye.